going down? It is, of course, DJ Ash Noble here. Welcome back to another stream. Today we have a track release announcement. I've got some updates for you and just some things in general that I want to touch up and talk about. And also probably coming in a stream tomorrow, I have a gig announcement, so I'm going to be doing the first gig announcement of 2025. We got a gig last year that came in for this year, and I did already announce it, and that is happening in March, but we've got one in April that has been announced, and there is another one for March that has not yet been announced. So it's a little bit of a slow process, but the 2025 gigs are starting to roll in, a few nice steady ones, which I'm really looking forward to. The year is kind of yet to reveal itself, but I'm really looking forward to it. Some exciting things in the pipeline. And music production is obviously where we are kicking off the year. So I have had my next track to be signed to Excite Digital. Now, Excite Digital, I have almost been releasing with them for nearly 2 years now, which is crazy. I've only had about 6 releases, and then I think this one that comes out will be the 7th release. So 7 tracks over the course of 2 years isn't bad, and I kind of like the kind of fact that I don't have tracks coming out on there like all the time, because I feel like it gives like one specific track on there a good chance for people to know what it is, to buy it, to stream it, and then there's a little while before the next one comes out. So last time we had a track come out was back in October, and it was to Feel This Moment, and now we have the next one coming out in February. So we have a little bit of a gap between the tracks coming out, which is a really good thing for me. I think if I had something coming out every week, it would get a little bit too boring. So when I make something and I feel like it's right for that label, then I will submit it to Excite. But on the thing as a whole, like I really just like I want to say that I really enjoy working with the label. The label's forever growing, and they put gigs on as well, like they put events on, and they fill up nightclubs, and they've just got a really, really good thing going for them. I like to support them, and they support me by sharing my tracks. They put my tracks out, which is really good. So big shout to Luke, big shout to Suraja, big shout to Angelica. What you're saying, big respect to you. So on the 14th of February, which is a Friday the 14th of February, I have my latest track, well, not latest, but the latest one to be signed to Excite, which is called I've Got the Key. Now, it's a cover version of the 90s, The Key, The Secret, the classic, I've got the key, I've got the secret. This uses a cover vocal from another group called The Real, Real Booty. Is it the Real Bass Booty? The Real Bass Booty Babes. I think that's. Do you know what? I always forget how you pronounce their names, and I actually want to find the real. I'm sure it is them. It is. It's the real Booty Babes. So it's not the Real Bass Booty. It's just the Real Booty Babes. Anyway, they did a cover of The Key, The Secret. I've done a remix of that, so it's my cover version using their cover vocal. So it's coming out to Excite Digital. I put a preview of the track up on YouTube yesterday, so you can go and listen to. You can go and listen to the track. You can go and see, what it sounds like, and you can have a listen to the little preview. And then, of course, you can go and buy it and stuff like that. If if you really wanted to do that, when it comes out, and it will only cost you £2.50, and you'll get the full DJ friendly DJ edit edition of the Key the Secret, which is really good. But my version, I've just called it I've Got the Key, and it's got a really nice, it wasn't actually what I thought it was going to be, because you obviously don't know what the artwork's going to look like, and then they send you the artwork over, and I was trying to vision what artwork they would go for when they sent me the track over, and I was actually picturing like a key from like an old castle kingdom or something, and then they literally just legitimately, it was like a picture of a Yale key close up in like a real nice blue background, and it actually looks really good. I really like it, and it gave it a really modern twist, because I thought, am I going to get like one of them real old like big keys that unlock them real big, real big arched wooden doors or something, from like the castle or the kingdom. But no, we got a proper just what you'd see nowadays, like a Yale key, and it was a load of them on a key ring, and it's a really nice little bit of artwork. So I'm really excited with that. How are you doing today? I'm not doing too bad today, to be fair. Not doing too bad at all. So it comes out on the 14th of February onto excitedigital.co.uk, and you can give it a listen, and you can have a play for yourselves in your DJ sets, of course, if you want to do so, which is really good. So it's one of many tracks that are going to come out this year. I've got loads of tracks and things in the pipeline, and things that are in the works at the moment. Some stuff that won't get released, some stuff that I'll just be playing in sets, and then some stuff that is going to get released, and some really cool stuff. And I'll be throwing up some free downloads this year as well, so you can all grab some tracks for absolutely free as well, as I know you all like to obviously you all like to obviously get something for free as well, and I like to give back from time to time as well. So keep an eye out for them. But there is a good few tracks in the pipeline, and they're not all just like bounce and rave tracks. We've got some of our Jiggerman and Noble positive reggae tracks coming out as well, and I've also got a house influence style track that's going to be coming out as well. But I can't say too much about that one, because there's a lot of work that needs doing to that one, but there's some potential big things to happen with that track if the right things are done to the track. So that one is something that is it's on the back burner for now. But it's something that definitely is going to happen this year, that I'm really, really looking forward to. And a lot of work has been put into the track already, but we're waiting to get some vocals added into the track. And we've got some other bits and bobs to do with the track. So I'm really looking forward to that. There's another track as well, that is also a cover stroke a remix, but it's really good. It's one of my proudest projects to date, and we're going to be filming a music video for this one. So that's going to be happening very soon, and the track is finished. The only thing that it really needs now is just the levels adjusting. It needs mastering, and then it just needs that final like check over. Do we want to add anything? Do we want to change anything? So I would probably say, in all honesty, it is probably about 98% finished. It just needs that final check over, and then the level sorting, mastering. Then we've got to make things like the radio edits, and then decide what we're going to actually do with the track, because I think this one is something that I vision to go do a little bit better than just a bootleg that you'll buy off a digital store. I think we've got some cool plans with this track, and having a music video for it, and there's going to be a little bit of a push for it. So I'm looking forward to working on that track as well and getting that one put out there, as this was an unexpected project where I just started doing a track as I normally would, just started working on a remix sort of bootleggy type thing, and then my friend sort of had a listen to it and instantly thought of some ideas of things that could be added to the track. And then we decided to collab on the track, and then it just turned from me doing a little bootleg to it being something way more than me doing a little bootleg. So keep an eye out for that. That is definitely going to be another absolutely amazing one. So loads of tracks, loads of things in the pipeline. Leave some women for the rest of us. You talk too much. I talk loads. I won't even deny it. Like, I walk fast, I talk loads, I walk loads. Just an energetic person in terms of my voice. What can I say? So the next thing that I want to talk and discuss about is something that I've not spoken about for a very, very long time on this channel. And I think it's about time I addressed the elephant in the room, the situation, and that is grooving sounds. So for those of you who may or may not be aware, about this time last year, I was getting ready to launch my own record label called Groovin Sounds, and it was a website where you could go and buy bootlegs. Essentially, that was the sort of what the label was to start with, but there was plans to expand it, and there was a whole kind of big idea there. And we launched the label, and it didn't do all too well, if I'm honest. Like, it did all right, but it didn't do great. And I really came at the whole idea with probably just lack of planning. I realized that I was quickly biting off more than I could chew, and the label just became too much for me to run alongside everything else that I was doing, and I was doing everything. So I was managing the website, I was making sure that all the releases went onto the website, I was listening to all the submissions that we would get for the label. I was doing all the social media, and it was just me. And alongside, working during the week, doing a 15-hour job, gigging at the weekend, making my own tracks, having my own promotion to push. Alongside everything else that I was doing, the lay tunes, the sketches, it was just all becoming a little bit too much without having a team behind me. So I drafted somebody in to do social media, which kind of took a little bit of the pressure off everything that I was doing. But unfortunately, I just got into a really bad state, and I couldn't afford to pay the server for the website, and the website wasn't making enough money for me to pay the server. So I was trying to pay the server out of my own money, and I couldn't afford to do that. So I got behind with paying for the server, and then essentially, because I owed on the server, they shut the website down, and we lost the website, which was a little bit of a shame, because there was always an idea there was always something there, and there was always something quite groovy there with Groovin Sounds. And I was really kind of disappointed to see it go. It was like, my little baby, my little project had gone. But running something like a website and a record label, it's a really, really tough thing. Like, when you're doing it by yourself, and you've got a lot of things to do, and it's you that's just doing it. When you have a really busy week at work, and then you realize that this Friday you've got tracks that are due to release, and you've got to make sure that all the tracks go up on the website, and they're all the titles are spelt correctly, and the artwork's there on the website, and that you're keeping the website maintained. It was a really, really tough thing to do. So when I realized that the website was going to shut down, I kind of buried my head and accepted defeat, and I just kind of I just for I gave up on grooving sounds because it was just too hard. Like, and the thing about it is as well, it's that like thing of like, who do you trust as well, like it's all right having a team behind you, but who do you trust? And there's so many people nowadays that you actually can't trust in this world, who are out to do you wrong, and anybody could do something. So basically, I had a chat with somebody who used to submit tracks to our label, and he asked if there was any updates, what was going on with the label. So I just told him straight. I said, look, I owed on the server. I was doing everything myself. It was really difficult, and he has offered to sort of help out with the label if we were to launch it again, if we were to give it a relaunch, and he's willing to help with some of the funds for getting the website back up and running, and he's also wants to kind of help run the label, which will be a bit of a help, I'm not gonna lie. So what I'm going to probably do is give the label a relaunch. We're gonna have a chat about it sometime this month, and I've spoken to the guy who kind of helped us put our original website together, and basically he's going to have a look into what we'd need to do to get the website back, and then basically we would go from there. So that's all I know at the moment. We're going to have a chat, but there's a potential in bringing the website back, and if we do, there's a potential in trying to go a little bit better than what we were doing before, and trying to just give it a bit more of a better push. You're Noble, I'm learning to DJ. What's one tip that you would give? So, I mean, like, I think a lot of DJs would give this tip. Personally, I think a lot of DJs would give this tip. But I'm going to give you a couple of tips. And these are tips that I've done over my sort of 3 to 4 years of DJing. So number one is quite a simple one, but don't stop, like don't give up. So a big one for DJs is a lot of people we're all aiming to be somewhere, we're all destined to do something. We want to play in clubs and we want to climb up that ladder. The thing about it is DJing nowadays is such a popular thing. It's DJing has never been more accessible than it is today. There's so many people nowadays that are becoming DJs, people that want to become DJs. People are live streaming from their bedrooms on TikTok, or their studios, or wherever they have their setups. Some people set their decks up in the kitchen, and there's so many different pieces of equipment out there nowadays, meaning that like you don't even essentially have to have DJ equipment to start DJing. You can download like apps on your phone. One that I would highly recommend is the Algorithm DJ Pro, and it's a really good bit of software, and you can use it with equipment and controllers, but you can also just use it by touching the iPad screen. So you can essentially have a go at DJing before you've even bought your first bit of equipment. But on the other hand, it takes a long while to get somewhere. So, you've got to go at it for a good few years before you essentially are going to really start to get somewhere. And when you do, like, you're not going to be getting anywhere exactly what you would call massive. So it takes a lot of years to get to where, like, in all honesty, it's taken me 10 years to get to where I've got now. Now, I only started DJing again about 4 years ago, just be about 4 years ago. So I used to DJ about 11 years ago, and I gave up because I was getting bullied. Then a year later, I started MCing, and it was the MCing that kind of brought me back into the music. And that was kind of what's led to everything that I've done now. But if it wasn't for the MC, and I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now, which is like all the DJing and the music production. So I suppose like one thing for me, because before I started getting back into DJing, I was just starting to break into the nightclubs as an MC. So that kind of already had given me a little bit of a boost. That I was, that I was already going into nightclubs and jumping on the mic. That was a little bit of a step up for me in that sense. But from 2015 to 2019 was what it took before I got into a club to MC. So what you've got to understand is it doesn't happen overnight, and you've got to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and you've got to you've got to spam. You've got to be out there every day and letting people know of your DJ name, letting people know of what you are, getting on all the social media platforms that you can. And I shoot myself in the foot here because like I don't really like using TikTok, but unfortunately even I've had to give in and I've had to start using it just because we need to be on all them platforms. So you need to have DJ pages, Instagram accounts, YouTube channels. YouTube is really good for documenting your whole journey. It's kind of what I do with the gig announcements and the updates and footage from the gigs. And then, Instagram, you need to be putting little reels up. You need to be putting posts up. You need to be doing as many different things as you can. Get in touch with pages on Facebook that do that offer live streaming. Get onto a page and start taking a weekly slot, or start your own. Set up when you get so many followers on TikTok, announce that I don't know once a week. I don't know, Thursday 6 p.m. You're gonna go live every single Thursday, and just really push your name out there, and just absolutely go for it, because it doesn't happen overnight. And the only other thing that I can really say is be unique, make yourself stand out as a DJ. So DJs, there's so many of us, and especially like nowadays with the streaming and everything, when it comes to promoters and people that like for example, that want to book you for an event, for example, there's so many people to choose from, and if you're not doing something different that's going to make you stand out, then you're just like the other so many thousand people that are DJing. So get into your own music production. Music production is a really it's a really good thing that you need to get into that, really making your own tracks. Make originals, make covers, make remixes. Just push your tracks out there, keep learning, keep progressing, and just essentially, like I say, keep going. That's essentially what I do. I keep going, I keep pushing. If I feel like I'm having a lack of gigs, then I'll do something to make people know that I'm still here. I maybe haven't been gigging for a couple of weeks, or sometimes it's maybe been a month and I haven't had a gig, but I'm still here. I'm still posting about the gigs that's maybe coming up in 2 months. I'm still announcing new tracks. I'm live streaming, and that is what it's all about. That is the whole, that is exactly what it is all about. So that is really what I can really say to you as a tip. That is, if you want to get into DJing, that is kind of the way to do it, because there's so many people that get into DJing and then they've been at it for 6 months and they're not getting a booking, or they're not playing out in a nightclub, or they haven't had a track signed, or they're not getting many likes on their social media, and they give up. And it's not a sign to give up. It doesn't happen overnight. You don't DJ for a couple of weeks and then and then, get booked to play Creamfields. It's not what happens, I've not been booked to play Creamfields yet. As a matter of fact, I've not really played any form of big festival. I played small scale festivals. I played one in Kettering, which was so much fun to play, but I've never been on like these really big festival stages yet, and there's loads of venues and things that I've not played. So there you go. I'm from London. Where are you from? I am from Hull. So there you go. But yeah, that is literally the best advice that I can give you in terms of, if you want to kind of get sort of into DJing. And also when you do first start playing out, like you're going to have to play out for free. And, when you are just starting out, like playing out for free is like the right thing to do, because when you are just getting your first bookings in a nightclub, it's working in your favour because it's exposure. So you're in sense you're spending money to hopefully get it back. You're kind of investing money in a hope that in time you will get it back when you're in a predicament where you can start charging. So I always feel for the first year that you start playing out, that you should do it for free. You should go far and wide to get your name out there, because you're new to it. And then, when you've been doing it for a little while, and the bookings are becoming a regular thing and they're occurring quite often, you're getting opportunities and you feel like you're leveling up, then you can start asking like promoters to pay the fuel money or whatever you decide to do. You can start setting a little fee, and even if it's just something as daft as saying, look, if you want me, just give me 50 quid. It's all about getting your name out there, and you've got to do that in the beginning, because if you just start out and you've never really played in nightclubs before, and you're very new to it, and you start going around telling people that you're 500 quid, like people aren't going to want to pay that, because they compare that to somebody who's actually been around for a while and has got experience, and it's all about experience. So you've got to kind of build experience, trust with promoters, get your name out there, and then you've got to start thinking about when the time is right to value yourself. And that is when I would say you've got to start kind of saying, look, I've got to charge myself now, I've got to give myself a fee. I've got to tell people, if I'm going to come all the way down here, they're going to have to pay it. And that's the simple fact. But there we go. I know I took ages to answer that, but there you go. I mean, I could go on about it for ages. I could give you loads of points and tips, but I would say like what I've just babbled on about is probably the main tips, like the main thing, the main source of what it's all about. So there you go. Hopefully it does help you out, definitely, in that sense. We have a message that didn't view. I bet you. Just something. We'll keep that message hid. Yeah, let's keep that message hid. So there we go. But yeah, so I hope the tip helped anyway. And I am available on like Facebook, Instagram, and stuff like that if you've got any more questions. And maybe, I'm happy to talk on a one-to-one level, where I can maybe explain some more things and show some tips. My sort of a day job, I am a youth worker and I work in youth music, and I'm all about helping and progressing upcoming artists and things like that. It's a big part of my job, even though my job is like mainly just Hull based. So, basically, I'm happy to help and shed light to people, because like with my day job, like I work in a Pacific area, which is Hull. I do occasionally like go to places like Cottingham and maybe like Beverley or something, but like mainly it's Hull. And I normally work with like it's youth, so it's like teenagers. It's like teenagers into early adults, but quite often I'll get people that are like in their 30s and they'll want to know like information and tips about things, and they want studio experience. And I think you're never too late to start learning. So I always like to tell people that, well, look, I can't help you through my physical job because I'm working between a certain area and a certain age range, but I'm happy to try and help somebody in my spare time who might be a little bit older than the age range. So I can still somewhat share some advice or teach them a little bit of music, whether it be just over recording a video for them, or whether it be just going backwards and forwards in message chats and screenshots, and how to connect equipment up and things, how it goes. So there we go. So anyway, I'll give you a little bit of an update on the studio room renovation. So there isn't really all that much to really update you on, but just in case you didn't hear the last updates, which was it was in a couple of streams ago. Basically, the real update is that I'm hoping to start renovating this room somewhere February, March at the latest. I'm just kind of waiting for the weather just to get a slight bit better, I think. I think January is not always, the best time to start decorating a room. But essentially, if you missed the last update, we got the green light that we are allowed to paint the walls. So for those of you who don't know, I live in a social living accommodation. So I have like social workers, and it's a supported living place. And sometimes when you live in like supported living places and things like that, you are limited to what you can do. So like sometimes they don't, like these certain places don't like you painting the walls and things. So I had to clarify whether we was going to be allowed to paint the walls and stuff like that. And we got the green light that we could essentially paint the walls if I discussed with the social workers what colour. So that was kind of like the last update. So the only real update, like I say, is I'm hoping that we maybe start it sort of late February, early March, depending. I've got to do a little bit more planning as to what we're going to sort of need and what we're going to have to get, and stuff like that. The more technical stuff, really. Like, I know that I want a new desk. I know that I want to put things in photo frames on the wall. Like that's quite a simple thing. Like, and there's something that I can go into town and pick photo frames up and get pictures printed off. Like that's not the hard thing, and I can soon like look online and order a desk and stuff like that. Like, that's quite an easy thing. The things I'm more meaning is like the blueprints. Like, where do we actually want things to go in the room? How do we want the room to actually look? What is going to be the actual score of the room? What are we actually going to do in terms of this room? How are we going to renovate it? What colours are we going to use? So that's all the stuff that I'm going to be planning in the coming weeks. I'm actually just waiting for my next payday because my Christmas skinted me, I'm not gonna lie. And like things like tubs of paint are not cheap. So that's something. I think I've secured a desk for DJing, so to put the decks on. But I'll have to clarify, like, if I can still have it. And I just need to decide if it's something that I actually really do want, in terms of, will it look good in this room, or will it not look that good? So we'll have to see. And then, of course, like, again, just discussing with the social workers what type of colour we're going to do the walls in and stuff like that. and yeah, and then just really writing a list down of the things, that we want, and then making sure that we have things ready so we can do these, so we can actually do the renovation series. So it'll be really good. Scarborough Beach lad, how are you? Oh god, I will never live that song down, will I? Literally. I tell you how bad it was. Like, I went into town today. So this afternoon I went to pick up this new computer mouse, right? Like, literally, right? And actually it's just it's back on. It went into sleep mode. And I got stopped 3 times by people that recognised me because of things like Scarborough Beach. So I went into B&M. I was looking for a computer mouse, and a couple of teenage girls came up to me and they said, "You're on TikTok, aren't you?" And at this point, I'm just like, "Yes, I'm on TikTok." I tried to hide it, because I've just got sick of it. So I'm like, no, it's not me. It's not me. I'm not that person. But they're like, yeah, you are. It's definitely you, isn't it? So now I'm just at the point where I'm like, yep, it's me. So they were like, can we get a photo? So I was like, all right, yeah, cool, let's do it. I thought at the end of the day, they're just buzzed because, they scroll TikTok, they've seen it, and then it's like, whoa, they've actually seen the guy who did it. So they're buzzed. So I'm like, all right, yeah, cool, get a photo. So I do my shopping, I'm walking back home, and there's a load of lads, a group of lads, and they're all on push bikes and scooters and walking. I think they were mainly just walking, and they were like, "Is that MC Noble?" And I was, "Yeah, it is. Yep, yeah, that's me." And then they were like, "Oh, like yeah, I knew it was him. Oh, buzzing! I knew it was him," and they were proper buzzed. And then I'm walking further home, and I almost get home. And I'm waiting at a pedestrian crossing, waiting for the green man, and some kid on a push bike. You're that guy who does music, aren't you? I was like, yeah, that's me. And then they were like, oh, can I get a photo? Like, I can't believe I've seen you. So yeah, like 3 different occasions going into town, people have recognised me from the reels that have obviously blown up on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, and like I'm really honoured. Like, I love the fact that people like want to come over and they want to get a picture with me, because like it feels weird. It almost kind of feels like I'm famous even though I'm not, but like I do love it. It's just part of me like wishes like it wasn't for the reasons it was for, like because I do regret Scarborough Beach. Like, I wish I hadn't made that song in a lot of ways, because I feel right now like I can't get away from it. Like, I'm pushing loads of new music and I'm doing like loads of different things, but it's like really hard to get people to realize, or to get people to really be bothered, like when all they really care about is the fact of Scarborough Beach. And I'm the guy who did Scarborough Beach. They don't care that I've just made a banging bounce track that's getting signed to Excite. They just want to hear me spit Scarborough Beach. And that's kind of the part of it what annoys me, and that was kind of the thing that put me off the whole MCing, because like I just thought like I'm well known, but I'm getting well known for the wrong things. Like, that Scarborough Beach will be 7 years old this year. So I'm a little bit like, I did it 7 years ago, mate. And now I feel like it's time, like, forget about it. But these reels that post them, they make it look like it's something new. They make it recent, and then people who haven't seen it, it's like they're seeing it for the first time, and they don't think it's 6 years, 7 years old. They think it's something new, and they're proper buzzed about it. Whereas like some of the people that they know it's a couple of years old, but they don't realise how old it is, and they think I'll just jump on a live stream and spit it, MC it, rap it, whatever you want to call it, and it's annoying. Not gonna lie, it's massively annoying. But on the other hand, like I say, I do appreciate people coming up to me in public and wanting to, get a picture with me and wanting to see, wanting to obviously, saying, look, they saw the guy. I just wish it was for something else, like, you're the guy who DJs or something like. I'd be like, yeah, that's me, because I'm that's what I'm pushing at the moment. But it's all good fun. It's all good fun, and it's all exposure. At the end of the day, like I can moan about it all I want, but it is exposure. And as much as like I do kind of wish these accounts like wouldn't post me, like it is good exposure. And one of them today did actually put like follow. And then my account, so they can actually go and follow my account, and it is, it's a good thing in that sense. Like some of them, they'll just put me up, and like they'll, like people just don't even know where to find me. Whereas at least this account was like, putting a link to my Instagram and stuff, which was, that's nice because it shows that, look, he's done this, but check his profile out. So I really like that. But, there we go. What can I say? So anyway, yeah, so going back to the room renovation. So I've got a little bit of behind the scenes planning to do. And then I'm going to start planning to actually turn this into a reality and turn it into a studio. And what is the reason of doing this? Why are we doing a renovation series? You know what I mean? Um, and I guess the reason for doing it is I make a lot of music at home, but I want because now I live in my own flat, I can have people round, I can have friends round, and it's a place where me and the layman can work on a lot of projects. When I lived at my mum's house, it was always quite hard to work on projects because, we were at my mum's house. So she was going to be at the house, other people were going to be at the house, and then you would always, you'd hear people talking, and it'd be really hard to like get somewhere, where you can be like really quiet to record something, or where you can really focus on a project. So now I live in my own flat, I can invite people round. I've got, it's my own place, it's my own home, which I'm really buzzed about. I can have people round, we can work on projects, and it's my own space, it's my own little space, and plus it'll be nice to sit somewhere that looks all nice and clean and decorated, and, we've got all these little bits and bobs on the wall and stuff like that. So what I need to do, is start planning behind the scenes. So I think the first step is I'm going to measure the room, so the width and the length. So going this way and then going this way, and then I need to knock up some blueprints basically of what the room is going to look like, what we're going to what we're going to do in terms of where we're going to put things and stuff like that. Is Layman your chick? No, the Layman is not my chick. The Layman is not even a girl. If you don't know the Layman, then get to know the Layman, because the Layman is like 10 times bigger than me. Like, trust me. Like, if you don't know who the Layman is, like, you haven't lived your life basically. The Layman is a guy who absolutely exploded onto the music scene in sort of recent years. So he used to be around years ago, back in the 90s, running nightclubs, and for various reasons he had to step away, and he came back about 6-7 years ago, 8 years ago, as a podcaster, basically. So around sort of I think 2018, 2019. And basically, he now goes all over the country to the biggest festivals, the biggest nightclubs, the biggest events, doing photography, hosting on the microphone, He's been very fortunate that he's made a lot of contacts with quite big artists in the music scene. So when it comes to people like from Clubland, so you've got like your Ultra Beat, you've got your Entrance, you've got your Karen Parry, you know, from songs like Set You Free, Pretty Green Eyes, Shooting Star. He knows them like they're now like his friends. Ian Van Dal, who did Castles in the Sky, they're like really, really close friends now. You know, and this is the guy who's like, you know, he's gone platinum on tracks and he's sold millions of copies. You know, and his life is music. You know, his life is music, and he earns thousands from music. And you know, a track that he made, you know, over 20 years ago is still earning him revenue today. You know, so he's worked with some absolutely amazing people in the scene. He's worked for some absolutely amazing events, and he's well known. And he's also very, I'd say, a comedian. He's very funny online. He's very good at having banter with people, making photo edits, making memes. You know, we do loads of fun cartoon stuff together. We do tracks together. He hosts me at the mic and stuff like that. You know, Lehman is the type of person who could go to Glastonbury and he wouldn't have to pay to get in. You know, that's just the mad crazy thing, because he would know somebody on that lineup who would like say come on his plus one, or more than likely the people running the festival would just know who he is, and they'd be like, yeah, of course you don't have to pay to come in, Lehman. You know, because he's earned that. You know, he's grafted and he's worked for it, don't get me wrong, and I got nothing but respect for him. So, but if you run at Glastonbury, you've got to finish on Scarborough Beach. Oh man, if I was ever on at Glastonbury, which I don't really ever think I would be, because I DJ now, and Glastonbury is more about like live acts in it, live bands, and like it's the, you know, like the biggest festival in our country or something. But you know, it's the, you know, type of thing where you'll see like you know, all the recent chart people performing, and loads of big bands and rappers, and not necessarily somewhere where you'd get a rave going as such, you know. So I don't think I'd really ever go on there unless we were doing our positive reggae tracks. So you need to run these on TikTok and post your vids as reels. TikToks just get way more views. I go live on TikTok. Only just started a couple of days ago. Go live on Instagram, do loads of stuff. But anyway, I am going to cut from this one, so make sure to like, comment, share, and we will see you soon.